Good morning. Today my topic is mechanical refrigeration system. This is the most important part in the refrigeration system. Those are using nowadays. So I am explaining it. Four major parts are used in mechanical refrigeration system. These are compressor, then condenser, then expansion device. Here expansion device is capillary tube, and finally cooling coil or evaporator. And now the function. Compressor, it is the heart of refrigeration system. It sucks low pressure, low temperature superheated vapor, and it discharges high pressure, high temperature superheated gas. That gas enters into the second part condenser. And condenser, its main function is to remove heat from refrigerant, and while the refrigerant flows through this tubing, at that time it absorbs it, and so that the critical temperature of liquid refrigerant of that particular pressure goes down and the refrigerant changes gradually into liquid state, and while it comes out from the outlet, at that time it completely changes into liquid state. That liquid refrigerant flows through the capillary tube and enters into the cooling coil or evaporator. And here liquid refrigerant, controlled liquid refrigerant can get sufficient space so that it can expand it. Due to expansion of gases, and it changes very rapidly into vapor state. So while any liquid changes into gaseous state, at that time it collects latent heat, and that latent heat is absorbed from the surface of the cooling coil. And this cooling coil is placed in an enclosed space, and from that enclosed air, this metallic coil, particularly this metal is aluminium, and this metal collects heat, and that heat is shifted to the tube, and finally from tube that heat is transferred into the refrigerant, and that refrigerant carries heat from one place to another. So here four main parts I have already told. So among them, main function is compression, and that happens in compressor. Then condensation changes into liquid state, and then expansion. Then expansion that happens in particularly in refrigerator by means of capillary tube. And fourth function is evaporation. Evaporation that happens in evaporator, and due to this evaporation, while liquid changes into vapor state, then that surface, due to absorbed heat by the refrigerant, that surface becomes cool. So four main function: compression, condensation, expansion, and evaporation. Compression, it happens in compressor. Its opposite function happens in expansion device or refrigerant control device or throttling device. And here in particular a domestic refrigeration system, this expansion is done by means of capillary tube. And condensation's opposite function is evaporation, and this evaporation happens in a part named evaporator. And before evaporation, that refrigerant must have to be controlled. So by this way, this entire refrigeration system functions. But we have to remember, any part can't do its function properly unless it has a supporting part. Sometimes main part can't do it properly its functions, it can do malfunction. So due to these malfunctions, and refrigeration system may be affected. So few auxiliary parts are also used. These auxiliary parts are subcooler or oil cooler, then dryer filter, or we can say dryer and strainer, heat exchanger and accumulator. Mainly in domestic refrigeration system, these four auxiliary parts are very much preferable. Subcooler or oil cooler reduce the temperature of oil in compressor. Dryer and filter removes dust particle or foreign particle or carbon particle from refrigerant if refrigerant brings from any part in the system. And dryer's function is to dry, filter's function is to remove the dust particle or foreign particle. Heat exchanger exchange heat from high temperature liquid to low temperature, means heat exchanges happens between high temperature liquid and low temperature vapor. Then finally accumulator. If any unvaporized liquid comes out from the evaporator, then that liquid is stored temporarily for getting evaporation, and if this liquid enters into the compressors directly, then the parts in compressor may get damaged because compressor should suck vapor refrigerant instead of liquid. So that's why for precautionary measures we have to provide an accumulator. So these are the all parts. Today I will show you the gas charging where you can see all the parts in that system. So next topic, next practical job will be refrigerant charging in a frost-free refrigeration system. So this will be done later this. Okay, thank you, and wish you will enjoy this video, and if you like it then please subscribe it. Okay, thank you.